I was having a conversation with one of my good YouTube friends, Lurker Zero. He's a very insightful guy. He asked this very poignant question, hit me in the chest, and made me sit back and reflect on my time with the Overwatch beta. I've been ranting and raving about it to him, saying, it's incredible. He asked me, do you think Overwatch is the next IT game? Now, as a bit of background, he and I have been talking about what is an IT game, and we came to the conclusion that an IT game is something that is so impactful, so full of quality, that it's almost impossible to just not binge consume it, to just absolutely get entrenched in this game, a game that impacts the genre it's in, sends ripples to other games being developed around it, and the whole gaming industry takes note of it. Some of those titles maybe for you is a Halo 2, could be a Counter-Strike Global Offensive, for myself, StarCraft 2. Lurker's most recent IT games would be Dark Souls and Bloodborne, for myself, Half-Life 2, maybe it's League of Legends, or maybe it's World of Warcraft, games that are full of quality and impact the industry that they're within. Is Overwatch an IT game? Only time will tell. How Blizzard manages the game, markets it, and supports the game is critical. It's a multiplayer-only shooter as far as we know. And in the era of Evolve and Battlefront, and even now Rainbow Six Siege, players are cautious about multiplayer-only shooters. Especially when the price point is the same as a full AAA game that might have single-player and multiplayer. The console version of Overwatch for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One will be $60. The PC version you can purchase is $40. Now granted, I know the console version is the Origins edition and you get some cool skins and some crossover goodies in different Blizzard games, but the point of the matter is, $60 is very steep for a multiplayer-only shooter unless that multiplayer-only shooter has this big perception of value. And the perception of value with multiplayer-only games rely heavily on the active population, how popular that game is. Counter-Strike Global Offensive, on a Steam sale, $6, a game you can invest hundreds of hours into. No, it doesn't have a single-player campaign, but that game has an excellent perception of value. It's very popular in the competitive scene. It's very popular on Twitch. You've got a lot of custom maps that you can play outside of the ranked playlist options. You've got the whole trading scene. So Counter-Strike Go has this great perception of value, and people have no problem paying $15 at retail or maybe $6 for Counter-Strike Global Offensive because you can just pour time and money into that game if you want to. And by money, I'm talking about skins and the trading scene. With Overwatch, the gameplay, if you're worried about that, is phenomenal. Don't be. The gameplay experience itself is absolutely tuned so well, addictive, and just a blast. But what is the long-term support of the game? What makes it different from Team Fortress 2? Because there's going to be a lot of players with Overwatch who are continually asking, yeah, it looks like Team Fortress 2. Why would I buy this when TF2 is for free? Also, what makes Overwatch different from the really ridiculous amount of hero-based shooters that are coming out like Paragon and Battleborn? And you're going to see plenty more following suit. This is becoming a new trend. I don't know if, one study group has gone to all the game developers and said, yeah, we think hero-based shooters, that's the wave of the future. We got to get on that right now. As mentioned just a second ago, the gameplay itself is totally Blizzard quality. It's something that they've poured effort into make sure it's this great experience for the player. What does my $60 get me if I'm buying it on console? What does my $40 get me? What is the lifespan of this game look like? What even is this game? Do you guys want this only to be a casual fun multiplayer game? Will there be a ranked mode implemented? Do you want this to become an esport Blizzard? What do you want with Overwatch? And in many ways at BlizzCon, you could tell they were just focused on getting the game crafted, getting a release date. They were very surprised that so many folks were asking them about what is the business model for Overwatch look like? What will be DLC? Is it just going to be skins? And as we found out here recently, heroes and maps are going to be free moving forward. Again, wonderful move. If Blizzard can effectively market what makes Overwatch different from the other hero-based shooters that are coming out in 2016, and what makes it different from Team Fortress 2, then they will have a good initial push. But until they find that identity, which I think they're struggling a little bit with right now, Overwatch might be lukewarm in terms of its reception. As I noted earlier, these multiplayer-only shooters, if they do not have a huge population and a popular scene, the games do not thrive to the degree that they could. If Counter-Strike Global Offensive had a very small, insignificant scene, a very tight-knit, hardcore group of players, you would see less sales of the game. Obviously, you have to look at the fact that a Counter-Strike Global Offensive is much less expensive than a $40 Overwatch. Overwatch will also need to figure out what persistent account progress they're going to implement. What objective is going to continue incentivizing players to grind through matches. I had a lot of fun with the beta, but the only objective was just to go in and play. There weren't any unlocks for my account. There wasn't any progress really to be made through some sort of ranked ladder. It just was a social hodgepodge, and the gameplay itself more than made up for the lack of any account-wide progression features. But time will tell, and I'm going to be following Overwatch very closely, and I think you should keep your eyes on it as well. The gameplay is something very special, and Overwatch could be one of those it games, or it might not. It's entirely in the court of Blizzard at this point. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please let me know. If you hated it with a passion, you can also let me know. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk with you next time.